My name is Jack, and I'm a writer living in the heart of Boston, Massachusetts. Sometimes I find it strange to think back on how a single day completely redefined my life. It was a day filled with so much love, but also one that highlighted a profound emptiness. What followed was a moment of public vindication that was entirely unexpected. I stood at the altar underneath strings of lights that Lisa and I had hung ourselves, and I whispered "I do" into the warm August wind. There wasn't a single blood relative of mine in sight, not my mother, not my father, and not the older sister I once carried home after she'd had a few too many drinks. Because her world was falling apart, they all said they were too ashamed to be. Their backyard weddings are for people without money, my mother had sneered. I didn't cry, I just smiled, because I had a secret they didn't know I was already recording everything. A couple of weeks earlier, I had invited them. With trembling hands, I sent digital invitations with a soft blush color palette and floral borders, simple, elegant, and perfectly us. My mother's reply came 5 hours later. It was a single line: "Tell me this is a joke." My father followed with his own text: "You deserve a proper venue, not someone's lawn." But it was our home. Our sweat was in every corner, our laughter was in every brick to them. However, if it didn't have chandeliers or a valet for parking, it was beneath them. When I told them we couldn't afford a 6-0 wedding, they didn't offer help, they offered judgment. Then why even have one? My sister scoffed. Just run off to Las Vegas, like poor people do. It was then that I realized they weren't just declining an invitation, they were rejecting me. The final blow was a phone call. My mother's voice was flat and cold. "I'm not attending," she said, "and frankly, I'm embarrassed for you." Click. Silence. But in that silence, something changed. I didn't scream, I didn't beg, and I didn't try to make them see my perspective. Instead, I just opened the notes app on my phone and started writing a new plan. Lisa and I went all in, not on lavishness, but on significance. We borrowed chairs from our neighbors, picked wildflowers from a nearby field the day before, and used old mason jars we found at a flea market for our centerpieces. A friend with a drone captured every angle, and another filmed it with a used DSLR camera we rented for $40. Every little detail was personal, and every moment was soaked in sincerity. I walked down the aisle barefoot to my best friend's guitar playing instead of a string quartet, and as I looked into Lisa's eyes, I felt no sense of loss, just one overwhelming truth: I didn't need my family to make this a sacred occasion. 3 days later, we uploaded the wedding video. I didn't expect much, maybe a few likes and a handful of comments. Instead, it exploded. It got 24 million views and hundreds of thousands of shares. Complete strangers cried with us, praising the rawness, the honesty, and the simplicity. "This is what true love looks like," one comment said. Influencers reposted it, and wedding blogs called it the most authentic ceremony of the year. Then the phone calls began. My sister was first. "Hey, I saw your wedding video. Wow, you guys looked really happy." I let the silence stretch, forcing her to feel the weight of her absence. Then I replied, "We were." Click. My mother sent a long message the next day, full of excuses disguised as apologies. "We just thought you deserved something more elegant, but maybe we were wrong." Wrong? No, they were cruel, dismissive, and self-important. She ended with, "Can we stop by sometime? I'd love to see the dress in person." Replied with the same words she had once used on me: "Frankly, I'm embarrassed for you." My revenge wasn't with anger or fire, it was with absence. It was about showing them that you don't get to mock someone's joy and then demand a seat at their table once it becomes popular. They weren't at our wedding, they want be at the baby shower. They want get to meet my child, because love doesn't beg for approval, it just builds without it. And when I watch that video now, the way Lisa tucked my hair behind my ear, the way we danced barefoot under the fairy lights, I don't see what was missing. I see everything we had and everything they'll never have.